Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Guys in a Garage, episode 20. Today, don't have a guest. Things have been pretty hectic for me, so I haven't really had a lot of time to go out and try to get anybody on board, get any guests scheduled or anything like that. Sorry, I think I'm coming down with a cold or something, so it's probably going to sound pretty weird. I'll try to get through this without it being too shitty. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening, whether you're brand new to the show, people who just randomly found this just browsing through Spotify or whatever your favorite platform is, or longtime listeners, anybody who's been around for a long time or since the beginning. Thanks everybody for coming on board and listening to all of our shows. We do have guests coming up, so some of our upcoming guests are a guy who works for an aluminum manufacturer. We also have a local chef that'll be coming on. Also our second female guest, our guest of the fairer sex, I should say. And then, of course, Charlie wants to come back and do another one in studio. He wasn't very happy with the sound quality of his garage cast, so he'd like to come on and do it again. And then I'm sure we'll have JJ and Jameson and, who else more coming up at some point. So this episode is thoughts and unsolicited advice. So this is me doing a solo and just trying to think of stuff that I really wanted to say to people and kind of just get out there into the universe. So I guess let's just get started. First topic, physical health. The importance of staying active, making sure that you're doing things, that you're getting up and about, and you're not just sitting around on the couch and you're not just hanging out and doing nothing. You need to be up and moving and motivated, and try to motivate yourself to just go hiking or go play with the dog, or go play frisbee or something. Anything just to get yourself up and moving, because you can't just sit and do nothing, man. You can't do it. It's not good for you. You need to get out, get active, get some exercise, or, even just some fresh air. And if you just go for a walk, do something, especially if you're going for a walk, man, you have all the time in the world when you're out walking around to just think. It's great. I love doing that. I love going out, walking around and just being with my own thoughts. Even if I have headphones in or something, I put on some good tunes and just go for a walk and think about life and, friends, relationships, whatever I've got going on. It's always good for you. It's never a bad time, in my opinion. Reducing social media time. So recently, because of the show, I decided to get back on Facebook. I was off Facebook for about probably a year. And, then I started up the show and started doing all this stuff. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing this, then I probably need to get back on social media just so I can post and I can have my own page and talk about the show, put out my ads and things that I do on occasion, stuff like that. So I got onto that, but I did find that I'm on my phone more often again because of social media. And I do find that instead of reading, or looking up interesting stories or things that I'm interested in, I find myself again more and more these days just hanging out and randomly scrolling, doom scrolling, looking through stuff, watching funny memes and videos and whatever else. I mean, cool, but it's really just a time killer. It's not really doing you any good. It's just wasting time. So I'm going to try to really focus as hard as possible to stop, to just kind of put it down and not be on it. I've tried really hard to only be on it on weekends, like Fridays and Saturdays when I do my blurbs and things for the show. That's when I try to just, I try to do it then. And if I'm going to doom scroll, I wait until I've got all of my stuff done that I need to do. And then sure, I'll allot myself a little bit of time just to play and have fun. But, I don't want to keep doing it all day, every day, man. It's such a time suck. It's so wasteful. So it's definitely something that everybody should be trying to stay off of and try to stay away from as much as possible. And same with, TV, video games, all that stuff. I mean, I know what they say, like, video games, they help the mind and solving puzzles and things like that. And they help with, what do they say? I've heard it a million times. Oh, they talk about, like hand-eye coordination and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure that there is some kind of benefit to it, maybe, but I don't buy that. I really don't. I think that hand-eye coordination that you're getting, if you're getting anything, yeah, you're exercising those muscles in your hands when you're holding a controller. But I mean, really, that's the muscle memory you're building, is how to move your thumbs around and push buttons. You're not really getting any other benefit other than that. It's not something that really is going to work for you, for life. I mean, unless you're a YouTuber and you make money playing video games and, having people watch, sure, maybe, I guess that's good for you. You get better at the games and you're interesting to watch. I mean, maybe that's it. Could be. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't watch that stuff usually, so I have no idea. But I really think, I don't think it's as beneficial as the media would like to say it is, because of course, they want you to buy video games. They want you to sit and just be mindless, and it's not good for anybody. It's really not. So again, try to stay away from that stuff as much as possible. You should be doing something like hitting the gym or working out at home if that's what you got going. Not everybody can afford a gym membership, and that's okay. Even if you go to like Goodwill or something and you get yourself a set of kettlebells or dumbbells or something, if you can find them there, or just pick up stuff randomly around the house, heavy things. There's all kinds of stuff in your house that you don't think about that you can work out with. Anything that's heavy, a stack of books even, you could do. I mean, be careful, you want to make sure that you still have good form if you can, but you don't want to hurt yourself. But it is possible. It is very possible. There are things that can be done right at home with just random things that can help you work out and at least, if not shed a few pounds, maintain what you've got at the very least. And then another part, of that physical health is trying to eat right. And hey, you know what? I have my own issues with trying to stick to these things, with trying to make sure that I'm hitting the gym, because I fucking hate the gym. Honestly, I'm not a workout guy. These days I do it because, my doctor says I have to, and it's true. It's part of your health. Exercise is important. So because I like being alive, and because I want to continue being alive, and I want to continue doing the things that I like to do, I don't want to end up, 500 pounds and in one of those little electric wheelie scooters and heading through Walmart and stuff, just picking candy bars off the shelves. That's not me. So whether I like it or not, I'm going to hit the gym as much as I can anyway. I'm going to try to schedule it in between everything else, or work out at home. Eating right, just not eating garbage, not eating processed crap, not eating sugar and everything else, and staying away from the stuff that you really, you shouldn't eat. I mean, just because it tastes so good doesn't mean that you should eat it. You really got to just stay away from it, man. And then the next thing I want to talk about is self-motivation, going after what you want. Doing the things that you want to do, even if they scare you, and accomplishing your goals. What goals do you have? What are things that you have always wanted to do and either have never done them, or maybe you started something up and it didn't quite go the way that you thought it would at first, and you got unmotivated. You got kind of put down by it, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I could actually do that. And so you just stopped doing it. Don't do that, man. Come on, just keep doing it. Just keep trying. Keep going after what you want. Don't let pride, or, well, maybe pride's not the word. Don't let things get you down, because you're not always going to succeed right off the bat. But if you never try, then you'll never get anywhere. I think I've said that before on here. If you never try, you'll never get anywhere. You don't make any of the shots that you don't take. And it sucks, man. It can be hard. When I started doing the show, I was terrified. I was like, man, what am I going to talk about? Who the hell would want to listen to me talk anyway? Is anybody going to like this show? Is it ever going to get any listeners? Stuff like that. And then eventually, it took a long time, but I said, fuck it. I said, I'm going to do it anyway, because it sounds cool. And I admire a lot of podcasters. Why can't I do it? Oh, I can. Anybody can. Anybody can do it if you want to, and you have, you have the gumption to actually try it. And I shouldn't say anybody can do it, because it does, everything takes some sort of talent, and even if you don't have a talent, sometimes anything can be learned, so long as you put forth the effort and you really try. There are some things that just can't be done, and you have to learn, hey, okay, maybe this isn't for me. What else can I do? I don't want to be shitting on anybody's dreams, but it's a hard truth. You don't get a trophy just for showing up. You know what I mean? You have to actually work for something if you really want it. And if you work hard enough, more often than not, you're going to get it. But you also have to be prepared to understand that maybe it's just not for you, and don't let it get you down. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and just move on to something else. Don't be discouraged by anything. There's always something that you can do. There's always something everybody wants to do, and you should always try to do the things that you want to do, and just go after what you want. Don't sit around and say, oh, well, I could never do that. I don't know what I would do. Well, okay, well, sit down, grab a book and start, or a notebook and start writing things down. What would you do if you could do anything that you wanted to do to either make money or just a side thing that would make you happy? What does that look like? What is it you would want to do that would make you happy? So start writing those things down and just check it out and see. I mean, you might surprise yourself what kind of things come out onto that piece of paper. You really might. I know I've done it. Back in 2018, I had this, I don't know if you want to call it an epiphany, maybe. I don't know. But I kind of decided to put myself into this mindset because I'm not a people person. I've said this before, and I tend to get kind of put off by big crowds of people, stuff like that. Usually I'm definitely more comfortable in my group of friends or with a small crowd, things like that. But I decided that I needed to be more social and I needed to learn how to be more comfortable with people. And I said to myself that I was going to make a rule, and I did it. And that rule was that if I am driving by like a bar or a restaurant or some place that, it looks really cool and I wanted to check it out, and I look through the window and I see there's a whole bunch of people in there and I'm like, ooh, people. Well, at that moment, because now I've had that feeling, I don't have a choice. I say to myself, wow, shit. If I don't want to do it just because I really don't want to do it, because that day I'm like, nah, I don't need a fucking cheeseburger or whatever, I'll keep driving. But if my only motivation for not doing something or going into a place or talking to people or anything else these days, I mean, I have now started to apply that rule to just about everything. If I don't want to do it because it makes me uncomfortable, we'll say that. If it makes me uncomfortable to do it, I have to do it. So now I push myself anytime where I feel that way out of my comfort zone. I have to just do it. I got to do it. Go in there, get out of my comfort zone and just push myself. And man, you know what? It's amazing. The more you do that, the easier it gets and the less scary it gets. And the more you develop not only just that mindset, but the comfort of going in and doing the things that you want to do and checking things out and having fun and trying new things and doing stuff that you maybe never would have done before. It's amazing what you can do just by stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself to do something that you might normally wouldn't do. Next thing I want to talk about, again, this is all just thoughts and unsolicited free advice. Take it or leave it. Relationships. The thing about relationships, in my opinion, is communication. Everything comes down to communication. The way that you communicate, the way that your partner communicates, the way that you listen. Listening is a huge part of it as well. It's not just one way. It's not just you blurbing and unloading everything on your end and then just walking away like, oh, cool, I feel better. You have to take the time to have a conversation and really talk. And really talking means listening, means actually taking into consideration and taking into thought what it is that your partner has to say, like it or not. I mean, that's just how it is. If you're not doing a two-way communication, then you're not getting anywhere. You're just dumping, and dumping doesn't work for anybody except for maybe you, but it's not going to get you anywhere in a relationship. It's not good. So talking, communicating, it's very, very important. So never stop talking, never stop communicating, never stop being open and honest with your partner. Communication, I think, is number one. Open and honest would definitely be second, if not tied for number one. If you can't be open and honest with your partner about anything and everything, and I mean, I'm not talking about, telling somebody on a first date everything about yourself and unloading all the skeletons in your closet. I mean, you shouldn't be afraid to do that, I guess, if the person is open and seems like they're, a good listener and that they're not somebody that's going to run away. But it's just, if you are with someone and you really trust them and they trust you and you're together, be open and honest with each other. And you know what? It can be extremely difficult and it can be extremely scary. But again, you'd be surprised to find that if someone really loves you and really cares about you, they want to know everything about you. They want to know all those skeletons in your closet. They want to hear it all, and they're not going to judge you. If they really love you and they really care about you, they're not going to judge you. And if they do judge you, well, maybe they're not for you. Maybe it's time to move on. That's not saying that, you should just unload everything and shit on somebody. And then, if they don't take it the way that you want them to take it, because depending on what it is, maybe you boil people's heads in acid, for a while back in the 80s or something. And then for some reason just decided to stop being a serial killer. That's a big thing, Oh, by the way, I was the South Side rapist in 1993. Yeah. That's a huge thing to fucking unload on somebody. Don't expect anybody to just be like, yeah, okay. Is that it? Is that all you got? That's the worst thing you ever done? Oh, no big deal. But shit, if you can find somebody that you can tell that to and they're fucking cool with it, well, for one, good on you. Two, in my opinion, you guys are probably like fucked up, but whatever. I don't want to judge anybody. If you like boiling people's heads in acid, I guess that's your thing. But anyway, openness, honesty, communication, having fun together. Man, I cannot stress enough how important that is. Having fun together, which means doing things, either just, and that can be part of that openness and honesty and communication. If you're being open, honest, and communicating, then you should be smiling and having fun, at least, I think. You're probably not always going to smile and have fun depending on what it is you're divulging, but if you're playing with each other and you're just having a good time, that's very important. Laughter is infectious, and laughter can carry through a lot of hard and heavy things. So it's definitely up there in the running of important things. Having fun together, playing games together, fucking with each other, playing pranks on each other. If that's the kind of relationship you have, whatever it is. You're with that person, hopefully because they know you and they understand you and they get your humor and they're into you because they get you. Your girlfriend may not like it when you, come into the when you sneak into the bathroom and dump a pitcher of ice water over the shower curtain while she's taking a shower. That would be funny as fuck to me, but still, you're having fun. I don't suggest that you do that, or at least do it very often. But anyway, having fun apart. Not everything has to be done together. That is so important. So important. You have to be able to do things on your own. Don't make your partner your quote unquote entire world, because when you center your entire life around somebody else, you quickly lose focus of yourself. You lose focus of those things that you want to do, those goals that you want to accomplish, the things that you need to work on hard to be able to get to the things that you want to do, or the goals that you want to have for yourself. So, and even just to spend time apart, distance makes the heart grow fonder. It really does. So if you spend all day, every day with someone, even if you love them to death, it doesn't matter if they're your best friend, your wife, your boyfriend, your, whatever, you're going to end up butting heads at some point, man. It's human nature. We're not designed to be around the same person all the time. We are social creatures. We're designed to be around people of all different types and mindsets and humor, and be able to have a good time and share things with all kinds of people. And that's just how it is. That really just is how it is. You got to have friends, and you have to go out with your friends, and you have to do stuff with your friends without your partner, at least every once in a while. dating. Never stop dating. If you're with somebody, you should be on both sides, and it should be more up to the man. Choosing a place to go eat, or going out to do something, coming up with, just fun date nights, stuff like that. That is the man's job. It is. It really is. We are meant to woo a woman and to get her to want to be with us and want to come to our castle and do the things that we, love women for. And I don't mean that to be dirty, but, whatever. Yeah. Never stop dating. Don't ask her where she wants to eat, because they never know. And that's fine. You choose a place based on what you know about her personality and the kind of food that she likes. That's what you should be doing. That's thoughtfulness, man. Be thoughtful. Be thoughtful. Never stop dating, and put effort and thoughtfulness into your dating. And yes, I'm talking to you guys. And ladies, be appreciative. Appreciate when a man does something for you. Even if he fucks it up, even if he does, he takes you to axe throwing and you're like, fuck, I hate axes. I hate the entire world of wood. I don't want to do this. Like, appreciate the fact that he's trying, that he's still trying to take you out. He's still trying to take you out and do something fun and show you a good time, that he actually cares. And then again, just make sure that you listen to each other. Always be listening. Care for each other, even when it hurts, even when you've had the worst fight ever. And you may even be thinking about walking out. You may be thinking that, shit, I'm done. This is fucked up. Unless you really have a reason to leave, ladies, if you're getting beat or you're being abused or something like that. And really, there's no question this is abuse. Yeah, you should get the fuck out of there. Don't hang around. There's women's shelters, there's friends, there's family. There's always a way to get away, and it can be done. Guys, same thing. God, there's so many guys out there who are also abused that people don't even realize because we don't think about it. It doesn't ever get brought up really, because we expect men to just nut up, to man up and deal with it. You're getting abused by your wife. Yeah. There's a lot of guys out there who are abused by women. I'm not saying that it's equal. It's definitely more women being abused, but there are men who are abused too, that are in really shitty fucking relationships with people that, for whatever reason, they feel like either they can't get away or you're trapped in this relationship because maybe you feel like you can never do better. And so you just stay. You stay because maybe you really do love this person. Maybe there's really good times with this person, but they can, for whatever reason, sometimes just be a real asshole for no reason. They really are just, I don't even know what the words for it is, just randomly abusive for no reason. That's not a relationship anybody should be in. It really shouldn't. If you love and respect each other, then don't be in a relationship like that. Learn when to call it quits. Don't stay in something just because you love someone. If you need to leave, you should probably leave. If it's not good for you, if it's not good for either of you, if you're just not compatible, if you're both been missing something for a long time and you just keep fooling yourselves thinking, oh, well, maybe they'll change. Maybe things will get better if we just give it time. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't give it your all. Everybody should give it your all. You should always put in everything you got, but you need to understand what that amount is. What is your all? How much can you put in before you are now giving away every bit of yourself just to make this work, and it doesn't work and it never will? That's something you really have to think about, and it's hard. It's hard to think about, and it's hard to know when to call it quits and when to say I'm done and to actually walk away. It is very hard, but sometimes it just needs to be done. But if you are staying active and you are working on your physical health and your mental health, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're talking and communicating, being open, honest, having fun together, having fun apart, and still dating and taking care of each other and caring for each other, even when it hurts, then I think personally, you're doing it right. no marriage and no relationship is perfect by any means. And it's never going to be 100% of the time. Everybody's going to go through bad times. Everybody's going to have a rut. Everybody's going to have fights. Everybody's going to have something that they get upset about. And that happens. It just is what it is. We're people. We're people and we're stupid. And sometimes we do stupid things. You know, sometimes we say things that we don't really mean because we're in the heat of the moment and it just comes out because it's what comes into our brain for whatever reason. It happens. Never be petty. Never be petty or resentful or allow jealousy to hold each other back. You know, your wife or your husband or whoever, you know, gets this, you know, badass promotion or something. And now you're jealous that, you know, that they make more money than you, or that they are getting farther in their career than, you know, you think you'll ever get in yours, even though you feel like you work twice as hard than they do at their job or something, you know, whatever the case may be. I mean, be happy. Be happy for your partner. Be happy for them and their accomplishments and acknowledge them. You know, even if maybe you feel a little like, well, I work my ass off at my job. How come I haven't gotten a promotion? Well, the only thing I could tell you there is either you're working for a shitty company that really doesn't give a damn about you and doesn't recognize your hard work, or you don't work as hard as you think you do. And you should maybe do some self-reflection and think about, am I really good at my job? Am I actually putting in my 100% every day? My 110%? Am I actually putting myself out there for the people, you know, above me that will give me a promotion? Am I going after these things, or am I just, you know, sitting back behind the scenes all the time where they don't see me? Because that happens a lot too, especially in the corporate world. And the corporate world is so fucking monotonous and it's so busy. And I mean, yeah, you have a lot of assholes that want to hold you back because they feel like maybe you'd threaten their job or something like that. That happens all the time. But if you're not putting yourself out there and you're not busting your ass and you're not putting in the extra effort, then I'm sorry, you're probably not going to move up. If you are though, and you're still not moving up, well, then you should probably talk to, you know, the people above you, and you should be saying like, hey, I'm important. I do these things and I've been here, you know, this long, and I really feel like I'm not being valued, or I'm not being taken seriously. And I really want either more money, or you want to move up, or, you know, I really want this promotion, you know, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to ask for it. If you really feel that you are busting your ass for it, don't be afraid to ask for it. Because if you feel you deserve it, then, you know, you should say something. And they're going to talk to you, and either they're going to tell you what it is, you know, they're going to give you feedback of some sort, right? They're going to tell you what it is that you're doing wrong, hopefully, so that you can work on it. Or they're not going to, or they're just going to be assholes. You know, if it's a shitty company, they might just be like, oh, well, tough shit. You know, and maybe at that point, it's time for you to think about moving on to somewhere else. Sorry, I jumped off on there. But yeah, in a relationship, don't hold each other back. Don't be jealous of each other's accomplishments and become resentful or anything like that. Just be happy for each other. Self-care. So self-care is important, and that goes along with, you know, the having fun apart thing. So what can you do for self-care? Well, taking care of yourself, I mean, that's physical health. That's diet and exercise. That's doing, you know, even if your partner eats pizza and drinks beer every day, well, that doesn't mean you have to. It's your choice. It's your choice what you do. So you can say, well, no, I'm not going to eat pizza today. I'm not going to drink beer today. I'm going to go hit the gym, and I'm going to make myself, you know, a nice low carb, low fat meal, and I'm going to go read a book. You know, you can choose to do that. And if you're okay with your partner doing that and you don't give a damn, cool, you know, if not, then maybe you should find a different partner that shares the same values that you do. But I think, you know, that physical health and eating right, it is important. And I struggle with it myself. I struggle with it very much so. I am a pizza and beer and not going to the gym guy who's trying to be going to the gym and not eating pizza and beer kind of guy. I've struggled with that very hard. Reading books.
There's a lot of information out there in the world, all kinds of it, everywhere. And maybe not even just reading. Maybe you really never have time to read. It does take a significant amount of focus to sit down with a book and read a book. But that's why there's audiobooks. You can do an audiobook, and if you can't do that, well, then podcasts. Listening to podcasts. There's a lot of them out there with a lot of information. Not saying that all of them have good information, but they're out there. Jump around and find something that works for you. Find something that it makes sense. Something that has the information in it you're looking for. I mean, there's so many of them out there. I can't remember what the number is, but it's millions. There's millions of podcasts, and a lot of them have a lot of great information out there. So make sure that you're expanding your mind, basically learning, always learning something. Don't ever stop learning. You should always be learning something every day, in my opinion. I try every day to learn something new, even if it's the most mundane, stupid thing. I'm always trying to learn something and expand my mind. Like, oh, geez, I didn't know that there was an ashtray in the back of my car. Look at that. Look at it. That's crazy. It doesn't matter what it is. Just try to learn something. And your mindset, to make all of these things work, mindset is important. Learning to put yourself into a mindset of I can versus I can't. That's a huge thing. Making sure that you're telling yourself every day that I can, and then being organized and putting forth the effort to not only say that you can, but to organize your thoughts in a way that makes sense, in a way that you can focus on things. Because if you can't organize your own thoughts and you can't focus and make any of it work, well, you're going to have a hard time getting anywhere. So just, make sure that you're taking time to expand your mind, organize your thoughts, and take care of yourself. And then self-reflection and introspection. So that means thinking about the things that you say before you say them. That means thinking about things that you have said or things that you have done, or recognizing patterns and behavior in yourself that are just not good, or things that you don't like about yourself. And everybody has something. Even the most perfect person, even the most gorgeous, beautiful Sports Illustrated model that has a master's degree in science, and she seems like she's so perfect, and she takes care of stray puppies and donates to children's museums and stuff. I guarantee you there's something that lady is thinking of every single day that she doesn't like about herself, or at least I would hope so. It doesn't matter how perfect you think you are. There's always something. We're right. Skeletons in the closet, things that we have about ourselves that we don't like. And if you just sit and you dwell on it and you let it consume you, and you say, well, what can I do about this? And you basically form a victim mentality of yourself and your own mind. You become a victim of your own sins, if you will. But if you just stay in that place, man, that's going to be a hard, rough life. It really is. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to do stupid things. You're going to we're human, man. Again, we are stupid creatures. We do a lot of weird, sometimes fucked up stuff, but never stop trying to do better and trying to do better things and change things about yourself that you don't like. Don't become a victim of your own mind and your own actions. Self-reflect as often as possible, daily, if not, hourly. And then, introspection, pretty much goes along with that. Introspection, looking within, introspecting on yourself and the things that you do and the things that you say in your interactions with other people. All of that is important. Always be looking within. Accept your faults. Work on the things about yourself that you don't like. You will fail from time to time. You will. That's one of the number one reasons why people on diets fail all the time. You have that one time during Christmas when you're really working hard on, eating right and all that. And then, of course, it's the holidays and grandma brings out that fresh, delicious apple pie, and you're like, oh God, come on, man. And then you're like, well, I can just have one piece. I can have one piece and it won't crash me. I'll be okay. And then before you know it, you're halfway into this fucking pie and now you hate yourself. And so you think, well, fuck it. New Year's is coming up. I already ruined this diet. I might as well just eat fucking pizza and donuts for the next week. And then you totally go off the rails, right? Don't do that. It's okay if you screw up. It's okay to fail sometimes. All right, so you ate half a pie. I mean, that was a good time, right? I mean, now you feel like shit because you're extremely full. You got to undo that top button and you're hoping to God that you can go take a shit here pretty soon to make some room because now you feel like absolute garbage, but that's okay. It's okay to fail once in a while because without failure, there is no real measure of success, in my opinion. I don't think that there is. I think even the most successful people have failed so many times in life, and that's how they figured it out. You figure stuff out by fucking stuff up. So don't get bogged down in negativity, even if it's about yourself. And then I'd kind of like to take a couple minutes and I want to play a song that I've been on this Rollins Band kick recently for, weeks, months, I don't know. But I read about him, kind of like a little bit about his bio and stuff. And I've been listening to Rollins Band since I was a kid, but I never really paid attention much to it. You know, it was just awesome music. But after learning a lot more about Henry Rollins and how he thinks and the fact that this guy spends upwards of 4 hours every day listening to his vinyl collection and reading books and writing, I mean, you know, that's crazy to me. Like, who does that? Well, Henry Rollins does it. But this guy has a lot of insight and he's somebody who's very grounded in himself and he knows himself and he's not a victim of his own mentality. Let's put it that way. So here's absolutely my most favorite Henry Rollins song that I want to play for you.
Unable to express the pain of your distress.
Low self-opinion. Don't have a low self-opinion of yourself. Don't do it. That's what I mean by don't get bogged down in negativity. What he says, if you could see the you that I see when I see you see in me, you'd see yourself so differently. That's crazy to me. Like, it's something that I've had to think about a lot. Like, man, negative self-talk is really not good for you. You know, think about the things that you say about yourself when you fail, or, when you do something stupid, or, whatever it is, maybe you said something you didn't mean to say, or, it came out in a way you didn't mean and you hurt somebody's feelings or whatever else. That's part of that self-reflection and introspection. Don't, if someone were to say to you the things that you say to yourself when you're feeling down about yourself, when you're feeling like, oh, I'm a fucking piece of shit, I fucked this up, this, that, the other thing, whatever, how would you feel? How would you feel if somebody was looking you in the eye and said those things to you? You'd feel like shit. You'd hate it, right? So don't say it about yourself. Instead, do that self-reflection and that introspection. Just look back on, whatever it is that you did or said or whatever, and say, okay, maybe I won't do that again. Maybe next time I'll think before I speak, or next time I'll think before I do that, or, I don't want to feel this way again. So I'm just going to change that. I'm going to do something different. In my opinion, that's what this is talking about, which leads me now into mental health. Positivity is key, man. Be positive. And it's hard to do, especially, maybe you really have, a hormone imbalance, or you've got, some kind of other chemical imbalance. There's a lot of people out there who have genuine, a mental incapacity to be happy, you could say. And that's where medication can be key. If that's something you need, then by all means, man, you need to seek help, and you need to do what you need to do to get back on track. But I also don't think that pills solve everything. I think that a lot of stuff can be solved by exercise, healthy diet, getting your body back on track. A lot of people don't realize that depression comes from that poor diet. It can. I'm not saying all depression comes from those things, but a lot of it can. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're not treating yourself well, then you're probably going to have a hard time. You're going to have a rough go, and your gut health is extremely important for that. Because people don't realize it's only becoming more and more prevalent in studies today how important your gut health is to your mental health. Because if you're not processing those healthy things that you're eating correctly because your gut is messed up, then your brain isn't getting the nutrients and the proteins and the vitamins and everything that it really needs to build a healthy brain tissue and to function properly. And so gut health, taking care of yourself, is extremely important to your mental health. But with that, staying positive, focus on joy, and remembering that no matter what, tomorrow is another day, right? There will always be another tomorrow. And that's a good thing. If you need to talk to somebody, seek counseling. If that's what you got to do. And if you can't afford that, then, look towards your friend group. Talk to your trusted friends. Don't feel like you're a burden, because you may be surprised to find out how many of your friends, your close, true, trusted friends, how many of them have been where you are. They've been there. They've been through, a bad breakup. They've been through a divorce. They've been through, just a bad relationship in general, or, they've had that time where they thought that they were doing great and they were busting their ass, and then they got that pink slip and had to go find a new job. Whatever it is, man, everybody's been there. Everybody's been through it. I mean, how many people are on this planet? Something like 9 billion people. How can any of us even think for a minute that we're the only one who's suffering and that we're the only one who's going through this at this time or have been through something? Because everybody has. And you would be surprised, as I have been, to find out how many of my, close, trusted friends that I talk to, that I did the same thing. I felt like, well, I don't want to put myself out there, because I don't know what they're going to think of me, or, I don't want to burden them with my horse shit, so I just, you keep things in. We all do it. And I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Don't do it. If you need to talk to somebody, seek counseling. If you don't have a counselor, you can't find one you like, you can't afford it, whatever. And with that, whether you get a counselor or not, talk to your friends, your good, trusted friends, and keep that friend group small, by the way. That's something that I'm learning recently. Just because you have 1,400 friends, and I'm putting this in air quotes on Facebook, doesn't mean that you have 1,400 friends. It means that you have 1,400 people who accepted your friend request for whatever reason or another. More than likely because having 1,400 friends on Facebook for some reason makes us feel good, even though they're not really our friends. I'm talking about those people who either you work with or you grew up with, or, family members, your brothers, your sisters, your dads, your moms, your uncles, your cousins, all of them. Somebody who that you trust, that you can talk to, and that's going to listen. Somebody that's going to listen and maybe offer feedback, or just be honest and say, I'm not looking for anyone to fix me. I just need to vent. I just need to get this out, because talking makes you feel so much better. It really does. I guarantee if it's something that you've never done, you should try it, because it feels so good to just get things out sometimes, and to just say things, and it helps you move through those thoughts in your mind and get through stuff and be able to process things effectively and not sit and dwell. And sitting and dwelling is just so bad for you. It's so bad for your mind. So find those friends and family members, anybody you can, anybody that you feel that you can talk to. And even if you're not sure you can, maybe try to just start a conversation and say, hey, can I talk to you? I've got something that's really kind of bugging me that I need to get out. And I guarantee you're going to find, those people that you know very well, who know you and care about you, they're going to say, yeah, what do you got? What's going on? And they're really going to listen. And even if they have no help to offer, I guarantee you're going to find that a lot of them probably do. A lot of them have been there. They have probably a lot more wisdom than you give them credit for to impart onto you. And it can be very amazing just to get it out. Otherwise there's hotlines, there's things on the internet that you can find. So just to put this out there, there's something that I found just Googling around. It's called psychcentral.com, and it has a list of hotlines, phone numbers you can call. So if you need to talk to somebody, if you're going through something really bad and you don't know who to talk to, maybe it's possible that you really don't have a friend that you can talk to. And if that's the case, man, I really feel for you. That sucks. But there are hotlines. There's people that you can call, whether you're just feeling bad about yourself, you need help working through a bad relationship or just a bad situation in general. Or if you're, suicidal, if that's the case, there's crisis hotlines. There's even a crisis text line that you can just text. It says text home to 741-741, and that's the crisis text line that you can talk to. There's a friendship line, which I guess says it's targeted towards people 60 years and older and adults with disabilities. There's the Veterans Crisis Line, which is, it says trained professionals from the Department of Veterans Affairs provide free and confidential support services to veterans in crisis. And that's another one that people, I guarantee, don't think about very much unless you know veterans or you have friends and family who are veterans, people who have been through some shit and seen some stuff that they feel like they can't tell you or talk to you about. And it's one thing that I've found about a lot of my friends and family who are in active military or who have been in the military is it's not that they don't want to talk. It's that they carry the burden, and they also don't feel like they can talk to somebody who hasn't been there. And that's probably true, because as much as we want to be, their friend, and we want to support them and we want to be there for them emotionally, I mean, it's hard for them to talk about things that they've done and seen that our country has asked them to do. And a lot of times they feel like we won't get it. And we probably don't. If you haven't been there and you haven't seen what they've seen, you really won't get it. I have several military friends that thankfully have felt that they can, confide in me a lot of things. And yeah, I always tell them first off, I don't know, man. I wasn't there. I haven't been there. I have no idea what you've been through, but I'm here for you. If you need to get something out, if you need to talk about something, if you need to cry, if you need to just say what you need to say, I'm here, man. I'm not going to judge you. Tell me whatever it is you got. And, I try to help as many of them as I possibly can just by listening. That's all I try to do. But yeah, there's a lot of hotlines. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of resources that you can find online. It's out there, man. If you need something, just honestly, you need to get on there and either find a friend, find a family member, find a counselor, start Googling around and find something. You got to get that stuff out. You got to talk to somebody. And then of course I guess there's a new suicide hotline, 988, kind of like 911, but it's just 988. And so they have all kinds of people in there that you can talk to if you're feeling like, you really want to end things. I promise you don't. And the only thing I can say about that, as far as my mindset is, no matter how bad life seems now, in my opinion, if I wake up every day and I'm still breathing, it's already a good day. And that's how I try to look at it every day. The world could be burning around me, and as long as I'm awake and I'm breathing, I'm going to be okay. So anyway, sorry, that went a little dark. Anyway, so in closing, I just want to tell everybody, there's resources out there. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you're trying to eat right. I know we don't always do it all the time. Make sure you're trying to take care of your physical health. Make sure that you are going after the things that you want and don't become a victim of your own mentality. Don't hold yourself back. Make sure that if you're in a relationship with somebody, that you are taking an active focus on it and making an effort to be open and honest. Always talk, have fun together, have fun apart, never stop dating, and listen to each other, care for each other, even in the bad times. Never be petty, resentful, allow jealousy to hold each other back. If you need to talk to somebody, and work hard, play hard, live good, and keep on grinding. Thank you, everybody.